What up brothers, it's Clip King returning for another new review. Welcome back to my channel. The figure that I'll be reviewing today is the Hot Toys Batman v Superman Batman figure. And as you can see, I did get the version that includes the tech cowl and sniper rifle. At this point I have had the figure a couple of days, so I've given myself time to have a good look at the figure, work out the things I really like about it and any little nitpicks that I would have with it. Also, it's given people a chance to ask me questions or leave comments, so it gives me a flavour of what people want to know about this figure. On top of that, I will say I have done a lot of video already, more than I would normally do for a figure. I would normally do that if it's a figure I'm buzzing about, or if there's a lot of buzz about the figure and people seem to want to know things, then I'll keep coming back and picking up really short videos because I can do it with my iPhone. But to do a full review and then cut it and upload it does take a little bit more time. So I will say I'm sorry for giving it the couple of days, but I wanted to do that because I do want to give an unbiased one. This is a figure I have bought to keep myself, so we're hoping that I kept the right version. That will become clear in this video, and whether I regret that or if I'm happy to do so. But on top of that, you will get the full comprehensive review, including all the scores. So before we crack on, start getting some scores on the doors, just show you the initial pose. Let's move up the figure. Pretty relaxed, pretty much straight out the box, or so it would seem. Although to get it looking as natural as that, you do have to sort of futz with the figure a little bit, get it looking as screen accurate as you can. Also get him in a natural looking position, get his cape to do what you want it to do, which is what I've done. So it is just a straight up and down pose, but I've tried to get it as relaxed and natural looking as possible. But let's stop beating around the bush, let's crack on and talk about the packaging, which, as you can see, is really in theme with the other releases from this line. So I'm talking Superman, the Armoured Batman, the Nightmare Batman, and now this. All do use the same shoebox style design, medium quality of cardboard with a similar looking artwork, just a slight variance in the colour. This one does look really nice and is possibly the best looking one of the bunch. You see the bat symbol over Gotham, and then as you move down to the bat symbol, it's a nice shot of Ben Affleck's face, the really popular shot from the film, sort of side on, and then the tipping its cap to the Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller book. I think that's right in saying. This version, because it came with a tech cowl and sniper rifle, that is just a red sticker that they put on the standard box, just to show you what your version includes. There is about 4 different versions of this figure, so the box will be different depending on which version you manage to pick up. At the bottom it has the Batman v Superman titles, like all the other. Again, it is shoebox design with the diagonal cut box. Always seems easier to take the lid off when it's like that and to put the lid back on. Nothing really on the back worth showing you. But the inlay slip is a profile shot of the figure moving down into the credits. I'm going to move down them slow because on this figure they do deserve a lot of credit, because every department has done really good work, and I will say in some cases some work that I haven't really seen the likes of before. Package is very average but really nice looking, does fit in theme with the others. For that reason, you know it, I'm going to give it a 3 out of a possible 5. Moving on to facial likeness, and this is one category that I haven't seen much argument against. Before we crack on and start looking at the interchangeable face plates, just have a look at the pose. You've got him stood, he's upright still, but what he's doing is actually dropping the kryptonite grenade into the launcher. You see his arms in a nice natural looking position, and I've just got him looking off. So there, just put a little pause in there, you can nick some of my screenshots, screen save some of my poses boys, and you can pass them off as your own. I know you do it, I know you fucking do it. Not really, I'm just fucking bullshitting. Trying to get some nice angles for you so you get a really good look. So as we move in, I will try and get nice and close on the sculpt, so if you can hear the zoom tapping away on this camera, it is a little bit loud, I've noticed. I don't really use zoom because I find that it's because it's got a, is it optical lens, or optical zoom, I find that if it's fully zoomed out, that is when you get the best look. But sometimes if he's got something in his hands, I have to use the zoom to get in. So if we look at it from there, you'll see he's got the straightforward eyes, or the centered eyes, let's call them. Not centered as in the smell, they're in the center of his eye. So his pupils looking straight forward. That's basically what I mean. And then he's got the closed mouth sculpt on. I've got to say that look, to me, or to my eye, is unmistakably Affleck in a mask. I did really love the Nightmare version of Batman, and I suppose because of the novelty, the first one I saw, I was really buzzing about it. This one again is very similar feeling. Slight difference on the one of the mouth plates. Definitely not sure about the other two. But whichever you put in, you know it's Affleck in a mask, which is a stroke of genius, like I always say with Hot Toys. They managed to get the look of his eyes, as you see. The shape of the cowl is stunning. The texture on the cowl is really good. They have used a sort of a soft silicone feeling cowl. You can use that, the fact that it's soft, so when you've took the neck mechanism out, you can actually push on the center of his forehead, which will press his eyes back and make them easier to bring out. But on looks alone, it's unmistakable. Every play, every combination you use, eyes to mouth, looks really good. I will show me all, but I won't show me swapping them out, simply because I've done a video that shows that it is a little bit of a nightmare. So look out for that if you're buying this figure and it's one of the first Hot Toys you've had, because you're going to notice it's a little bit of a ball buster. But like I say, I'm going to use the power of the video fade, and I'm going to show the other mouth plates with each set of eyes, so then you'll be able to see which you prefer. Like I said, before I go to the first fade again, I'll just move out. I like that pose. It's pretty natural, but it's fucking beautiful. I am going to get extreme with it, and I'm going to try and do a pose with every accessory it brings on this one, because this could be my figure at year. But anyway, looking at that one, it's a very strong lightness. If that were the only lightness you got, it would still get really high points, but it's not. It does get interchangeable sections, so let's have a look at the others. I'll stick with these eyes, but I'll swap out the mouth. So now we've gone slightly open mouth. Again, definitely Batfleck. From every angle, the paintwork is stunning. The appearance of the teeth is really nice. Doesn't come across as horse teeth like they sometimes do. Even when it's catching the light like it is now, I'm zoomed in, I've got the light bouncing off it, and it still looks really natural, really good. Like I said, I haven't swapped the eyes at this point, so this the same centered eyes with a slightly open mouth, and that does look awesome. If this were the only portrait you got, again, I would still score it very high. I think that might be my favourite mouth, if I'm being honest. I think that is the one that most looks like Affleck, but I will move on and show you with the other mouth plate. As you see, this one's sort of fully mouth open, teeth gritted, so not screaming like you see on the Nightmare version. He's got them sort of clenched together. I do really like this one. I think this would be the one that least looks like Affleck to me, but what I will say is, when I look at it, it always comes across as, do you know, sometimes if you look at yourself in a mirror, put your fingertip against your nose, tip of your nose, and push your nose up and back, where it pulls your top lip up, so you've got like a bit of a pig look about you. It looks like that's what's happening, like the cowl's pulling the nose back and it brought the upper lip back into a funny shape. But it does look good, and with some poses it works really well. Not so much something like that, but a more like a throwing a punch or using his batarangs or his grapple hook, something like that. I think that that expression works really well. Again, I think if that would have been the only portrait they'd given you, I don't know, I would have wanted another one, let's put it that way. I don't dislike it, but it wouldn't be my first choice. Now I'm going to swap out the eyes and go back to the first mouth. So here we go. These eyes, again, they're centered, but they're looking sort of up. So you would have to, for it to work, you would have to dip the head forward. So as you see, I've slightly changed the cowl, the position of the cowl. It's not looking towards the grenade no more. I've got him looking, so as if you were looking at the pose from that angle. Like I said, the eyes are sort of up, looking through his eyebrows, so to speak. That's what you would call it in a boxing style pose, which is a method of way of keeping your chin down. And then as you see, I've gone back to the closed mouth. Again, this is the more brooding look. It is quite beastly looking, but what you find with this is because you have to push the cowl down and forward to make it work, then you do get the effect where the cowl has run down over the symbol, which is a nitpick for a lot of collectors on this figure, but I will pick that up when I get to the outfit. I'll do a little mouth swap again. So you see, back to the slightly open mouth. Lifted the head slightly with this one, just because the change of the expression, there's less intent in this mouth plate, so you can sort of change your angle, change his focus, so to speak, but still looks beastly, as you can see. Let's try and get a little bit tighter in them eyes. Really nice. Look at texture on cowl. Moving up. This one does give it. Sometimes the Batman heads for me have been a little bit on small side. Don't really give the impression that there is an head inside or full size head. With this one, you definitely do feel that. Where it sits on his cheekbones, the look as if he's got his sort of jaw clenched and the divots off to the side, like that, and then sort of the more bulbous looking forehead. Oh, that's beautiful, that, isn't it? That's what you're thinking. Now again, slight change where the head is. This time you see the cowl is above the symbol's ears, where it's supposed to be. I've lifted it because I want him to sort of, because of the intent in the eyes, yet the clenched teeth, I want him to be sort of looking up to the heavens and sort of, oh fuck, sort of pose. Put that through your mind, and that's the look I've pretty much gone for. Still the same pose, still holding the gun. Maybe he's looking at Superman coming towards him and he's wanting to load up. I don't know, I'm just giving me thought process, you know what I mean? I'm preaching to you. But let's go to the third set of eyes and back to the first mouth plate. So now you see, got the eyes to his left, which I do really like. These might be my favourite set of eyes, particularly with the pose that you intend to put it in. I've gone with the closed mouth, although this isn't my favourite total look, but I do like that. Now I've got the same pose, I've not even moved the body, as you can see, but this is how the interchangeable faceplate can help you, because now you can turn where you display your figure from, and it looks like a totally different pose. So you're displaying that in your cabinet or on your shelf just by swapping out the eyes. Keep the pose as it is, but it gives you a whole new look, because now I'd be taking photos from somewhere there. So again, I hadn't even moved the body from the last shot I showed you, but these eyes are looking beautiful. Let's get in a bit for you. Again, nice clean work. So I just wish they weren't such a pain to fucking swap out, although they are. And then I've got in with a closed mouth. Look at the paint detail on that. The butt chin, or the dimple on his chin. I think this stubble is just right. The colour of the lip, like I said, every combination is definitely Affleck. And just really nice. Swap out now the mouth plate to my favourite combination, which is eyes to the side, slightly open mouth. Again, not changing the pose, I'll move back a tiny bit, but I just like that. Simply because I think the eyes to this side give it the, I don't know, the most natural look inside the cowl for me, and that is my favourite mouth plate. Let's move in again, show you that. No horse teeth. Fucking hell, I'm zooming out, Bobby. Look at that, that's beautiful. Them fucking Hot Toys workers, they've got some skills, haven't they? You've got to give them credit where it's due. That is beautiful. So I'll go to the last mouth plate and you'll have seen every look possible. So I've gone open mouth, and this for me would be the one that works the least. Still think it looks pretty good, but I just think the mouth is too expressive for the eyes, so it doesn't really work, although it would if you were coming across with like a left hook, something like that, or you're holding a sniper rifle up, I don't know, something more intense. I think you would use that combination, but like I said, that would be my least favourite of them all. Either way, I think you've got to agree, the likeness is fucking astounding. Top notch to Hot Toys, and top points, 5 out of possible 5. Right, let's move on to his outfit, and this is another strong category with a couple of tiny little niggles. As you see, got him posed up, he's still on his own stand, got the cape spread at the back, You can see I've got him throwing a batarang, one arm out for balance, twist through his legs, one arm out, and then the batarang in his right hand. Which is fucking beautiful, innit? Come on, boys. Listen, pause it and just write your comments now. Just say thank you, Uncle Clipper, because that's fucking beautiful. Come round, you bitch. Come round. Who won't want that rotating? You won't want to have to pay price. I've had to pay for the bastard. But who won't want that rotating in the collection? Not fucking very many people, I don't think. So, let's talk about his outfit. And before we do, I think we'll bring him round. We'll bring him round so we can have a right good look at him. About there. About there? No? Bring him back. About there. Fucking Clipper, fucking gear, you bastard. There's others going to buy this figure. How the fuck are they going to review it after this? I don't fucking know. Right. This is a beast of a category, so let's crack on. Right. Start at his feet and work his way up. The boots are a right touch. I've seen these before. Split boots with a foot section on a ball joint and then a sort of shin guard or shin section of the boot. I've never seen it work as well as it does on this figure, and that includes any figure you want to mention. Simply because the ankle section just always fits right. Even when you've got pivot through your foot, it always seems to fit on the lower section of the boot. The sculpt is amazing because it is hard plastic, but look at the texturing in it. It makes it look like a really thick tumbled leather. The sort of fake cut and stitch on it is amazing. The sort of section at the back of the boot where it's got like sort of gold highlight that goes down into his heel. You see the sole of the boot looking fresh. The gold wash on the steel toe cap, which again is a right touch and a right classy look. And then as we bring it round, you'll see also on the inside he has sort of a sculpted zip. Are you picking that up? I don't know if the light's getting into that. There's a sculpted zip that actually goes right down the sculpt and then even down into his foot. So it looks like one continuous line. So the boots, beautiful. That's all I can say about the boots. Moving up to the leg section of his suit. Now you see the texturing, the piping. I'm going to touch it to get an idea of what it is. It feels like, what's it feel like? It feels a little bit like first Amazing Spider-Man suit. It has a feel of that, but a lot better scale. I don't know, the paintwork on it, the texturing is stunning. The way it wraps around his muscle groups, really nice. The seam looks more unsightly on the camera than it does in real life. It doesn't hinder his articulation like I thought it would. You get a good split in the legs. It does crease, but the creases, I will say, always look pretty natural. So that is a nice touch as well. And coming down the other leg, you see, really well. Another thing I just want to point out, when I bend my knees, particularly when they've got 2 points of articulation, one sort of in the upper section of the leg there and then a lower section, I always bend it at the upper part first because it gives a more natural looking kneecap. A lot of people will bend at the lower part first, which makes it look like he's got a dislocated knee. Looks like he's had a cruciate knee ligament damage. So that is why I always bend at the top first, because it brings the kneecap round into a more natural looking position. As we move up, a few people have noticed it does have a massive back butt. It does, and it's not squidgy like you would expect it to be. It is an hard plastic sculpt. The outfit, when I first got it, I thought every time I move this bitch, the suit's going to fall into the recesses, which is sort of up here where his muscle ends, and then up there. But it don't seem to. I've got the back belt sat in a nice position where it makes his legs look the correct length, but also any unsightly suit in recess area would be more tucked up inside there and up there. So where that bothered me when I first opened it, it really doesn't now. I always prefer as well to have the belt slightly high at the back and then have it as if it's sagging down towards the front. You don't really pick that up in this pose because of the rotation through the waist, but that is how I prefer to have it. Moving up, and this is something that I've not seen before. I saw the Nightmare version of Batman. This, let's call it sort of the central or the midsection. So I'm going from sort of the belt up. The suit is stunning, as you can see. The texture on the symbol, the texture on the outfit, the way it moves, the way it sort of, the muscle groups will contract and stretch. It's just stunning to me. I've had figures like your Leonidas, the original Rocky figures, the Rambo figures, all with muscle bodies, and I've never seen or felt out like this in a centre body. And I'm even including the Tyson from Stone Collectibles. That don't feel as robust and as accurate as this does. Like I say, it's squidgy. You can see, you can get right down to the body that's inside. Now that is all a sculpted bodysuit with the outfit sort of feels like it's been shrunk onto the real live muscle. And it's not just the, like, it's like not like a clumsy looking ab section like we see on some of these muscle bodies. Very natural looking. And then as it moves through to the obliques, the sort of muscle that comes down here, it all looks really good. And even when the arm's up, it even goes into his lats underneath here. He's got some fucking cobra lats going on. And that is beautiful. Both sides, the way it catches the light and everything. It really is a stunning piece of work. That central section is a touch of genius, and I would shake the hand of the bloke who devised that, because that is beautiful. It is all one piece coming into the arm section. As you can see, it does crease and wrap around the arm, and I'm glad it does because it doesn't hinder the articulation, and it also looks very accurate to a lot of the pictures that I've seen. This is so much like the outfit really does. Again, texturing is awesome, right down into the two-sectioned glove. Again, it is sculpted, but it gives the appearance of a tumbled leather. Very animalistic, very badass looking. I love the DX12, as a lot of you will know, but when I show them together in a minute, I think you'd sort of concede. The DX12, sorry, the DX12 is a stunning figure for that movie, but when you compare it to this, it's like night and day, in all honesty. I do like the fins on this, again, very harsh looking. The gold highlights do make it stand out, and then sort of the section that it emanates from, again, does look very good. And that moves up into the hand section of the glove with the sort of golden knuckle section. Awesome hand sculpt. And another thing and all that I've always noticed with Hot Toys, when they put some love into a figure, you get all new sculpts on your hands. You don't see parts that we've seen 1,000 times before. We're not seeing gloves like that. They haven't reused the 12 gloves, or even the sort of that Batman's gloves, or the DX09's gloves. We're not seeing that. We're seeing a whole new sculpt used for this figure. Even when you compare it to the Nightmare one had the sort of bandages wrapped round, so it's similar to that. But the fact that they've shown this line so much love, it's all created new. It's not like they've tried to use the Arkham City Batman hands or all like that. So I do love that about it. When I noticed it on the DX11, you look at the dirty hands on the DX11 Joker, and they're all fresh sculpts. Really good. And this hand, looking at that. Right, let's move on to this symbol or emblem or chest badge, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people have asked, this section here, can it be cut down? Does it sit in the wrong place? Is it annoying enough not to buy it? Various different things. Now, I'll say this, you'll see some poses in this video where that is the right distance above the ears on this bat symbol. Sometimes it won't be, and I'm glad in a lot of ways that it's as manoeuvrable as it is, and it's as soft as it is, because I don't feel it's going to damage your suit. I like the way that it holds the cape in place as well, which is glued basically under this rubberized section of the cowl. I like how it turns. I like the fact that the cape does have some wiring, so you can sort of like sculpt it around his shoulders. Sometimes it don't look right, but you've got to work with it. So it's more down to you than it is down to the figure. People are going mental on this, and I'm like this on a minute. Yeah, sometimes you pose it, you want your head down, and it does move down the symbol. Is it annoying? It's not annoying, it's just a little nitpick. And I think to me saying, boys, all you that's saying that, go back to the prototype shots, have a look how bad that Batman looked, and then have a look how fucking awesome that looks. If you're going to let this little bit of rubber here, which could be shaved down with a sharp enough pair of surgical scissors or a nice blade, you could take a millimetre off that and it would never really go over that. If you're going to let that stop you buying it, I would say you don't want the figure enough in the first place. But that is just my opinion. The cowl is amazing to me. The way it works, the eyes are a bitch to swap out, but the fact that it's nice and soft, yet it still has a nice sharp sculpt on it, the animalistic look, it really is the Batman that I've been waiting years for. Moving around, another slight nitpick with this figure. Nah, it's hard to slate it because I think I've done a pretty good job with this cape in this pose. Right, let's bring it round more. You see here there's an awkward looking bend. Now I could take that out just by reposing it. I could make it look smooth, I could make it stand off the body like such, but then I could contour it to the body like such. I would have to work with it, and it's hard to do left-handed. Then as it drapes, I've got it pretty open. It is a faux leather, really thin, and it does have sort of a weathered effect painted onto it like such. It does stay with the pleats, but the downside is it doesn't fall natural. Like if you get the DX09 Batman and you put a Tony May cape on it, that falls ultra natural. The Batman, the cape's ultra natural. This isn't, but the choice of materials is good, but how it falls is a little bit awkward. It don't look natural. Sometimes it sort of stands away from the body as I come round. Also in the inside, it sort of has the section sort of glued back on itself, as you can see, so that doesn't pull away, and then it has this sort of fake suede effect on the inside of the cape. Again, I do like the choice of material. I just wish they'd have devised a way for it to hang better. Put something, some weights or something on back so it just pulls down more and it gives it that realistic drape. That would be easy to do. You can buy tiny little weights that will bring that down and just glue them to inside a cape. But should we have to when a figure costs this much? So, one other nitpick, and this is a tiny nitpick and it's a really easy fix. One of the videos I put back up other day about the outfit, I actually said if you take the gauntlet off, you'll see that the reason that sometimes you get a ruck up of material on the elbow here and round here a little bit too much or more than you want is because the suit rides up inside the glove. So at the end of the arm, say it's there, the suit will sit about half a centimetre above that. It's very easy to fix. I did it with my Man of Steel. You just take the gauntlet section off, pull the glove right down, get some brush on glue and put like a millimetre worth all the way around the lowest section of the arm and then stick the outfit to the arm. People say, will that hinder the articulation? I don't believe it will. And once I've done all the video of this figure that I'm going to do, that is probably going to be my intentions. Because if you want him in a museum style pose, I think it's going to be nicer with the sleeves a little bit tighter than they are naturally. So, the outfit for me in some places a touch of genius. In other places it's same old mistakes that Otto have made again. But it just looks fucking beastly and I can't, I'm one of them. This is one of them figures, I'll pose it and I'll go downstairs. 10 minutes later I think, oh that'll be a good pose, I'll go and try that. And I come back and have another look. I can't take my eyes off it. I know it's still new. And I feel harsh knocking the outfit down to a 4 out of a possible 5. But what it is, it's just accumulation of 3 little nitpicks on top of a fucking amazing, awesome feeling, awesome looking suit. So like I said, the outfit has got a 4 out of a possible 5. Rolling on to articulation. We spoke about how awesome the suit looks, but does it hinder the articulation? Maybe a little bit, but I can sort of forgive it because the figure can still do stuff like that. Now, I've never known any Batman from Hot Toys that can even get close to this. And I'm talking about any you want to mention. Any of the Dark Knight ones that we got, the Batman Begins, or the Batsuit Begins, whatever it were called, the DX02, the DX12, the DX9, the new Batman Returns. I don't know any that can get close to this. Sometimes you get a little bit of articulation through the arms, very statuesque through the midsection. Legs won't do anything like this because of the rubberized bodysuit. This is a total and utter beast. If you watch back all my other Batman reviews, I pretty much always say the same thing. I'm not a massive fan of Batman, and that is the case in all honesty. I'm always more Marvel than DC, so I'm not Batman's biggest fan. But the Batman I remember was sort of from the mid-80s through into maybe the mid-90s, and Batman to me always seemed a little bit more agile, a bit more cat-like, a bit more like Daredevil. He'd sort of gracefully glide through city and that, going from building to building or from one place to another. And the new style Batman films have never been able to do it because of the restrictions of the suit, and then on the figure, same thing, restrictions of the suit, weak, soft bodies. Not the case with this. It is a total beast. Foot articulation. The lower boot is on a ball joint, so we'll move forward, back, swivel and pivot. It's not restricted by the shin guards at all. Moving up, double bend through the knee, and is rock solid. We'll hold the suit because it's not a rubberized feeling suit. It's more like Superman suit or more like a Spider-Man suit. So you're going to get the articulation that you can get from them guys. The upper leg is a beast as well. The sort of quadricep muscle groups through it, the good depth on it, very accurate to the film, and because of that they've used strong joints, strong body parts, and it does hold the pose really well. Very little restriction from the suit through the crotch section. As you can see, his legs are up really nice and tight for a figure like this. It will also rotate slightly side to side through his waist, and then the ab crunch is a work of genius because not only does it work and hold, it also makes the stomach muscles contract and stretch, so it gives off again very natural looking muscle groups, and I do love it. Up through the shoulders again, rock solid shoulder ball joints. We'll move up, down, forward, back, so you can really stretch his chest out or you can really contract his chest depending where you put the shoulder joints. They will lift slightly and they will drop slightly, and then you bring the arm up like that, straight out in front of him, and it's not even looking like the suit wants to pull it back. Again, down through the arms, nice solid double bend elbow, which will get a nice tight bend like so, and does hold it. It's got to be one of the most pleasurable figures to work with, and I hope a lot of reviewers pick up on that, because it could seem like I'm being totally biased towards it because it's the one I've waited for. It's not the case. It's just everywhere I wanted it to do certain things, it seems to do it. Moving down, the hands obviously are on a wrist peg and will move freely like they always do. So I'll just show you around it. Again, the soft rubber cowl allows the head to move side to side, up, down, forward, back. It does move really nicely, although remember it is going to take the cape and this section that you all seem to hate so much with it, where like here, it is going to cover the emblem. It does, I'm not going to try and lie to you, but tell me that pose ain't fucking awesome. Because if you don't, then like I said, I just think it's a case that you don't want this figure enough, or you can't quite afford it, or you can't get on the wait list, so you're looking for reasons to talk it down. Because I would forgive that with a cowl to have a Batman that fucking does that. I know as soon as I see a figure, if I want to keep it or if I won't mind selling it. I paid a fucking shitload of money for this, and I hadn't even thought about selling it once. I'm thinking I could make about 100 quid on this, and I'm not going to do it. Regardless that some will say I'm a scalping bastard, this figure ain't going nowhere for a very long time, and that is because it is fucking amazing. So, on the articulation, it's not a flat out true type, but it articulates a lot better than I expected when I saw the prototypes, and even when I saw the final product pictures. I thought it's not going to do all like that. It's going to be cool looking but statuesque. Not at all. It gets some really cool poses, very natural, will hold a pose, So for that reason, I can't give it the perfect 5 out of 5, but I can give it a 4 out of a possible 5. And again, I think that pose is very nice. And you guys will know I've tipped my cap to The Dark Knight Returns. And before I move away from his body or his articulation totally, I just wanted to show him in a size comparison with other relevant figures. As you can see, he's stood quite a lot back compared to the others, and the Dark Knight version is on the steps. As you see, I try and get them level. He's just a lot bigger built, a lot bulkier, a lot more of a robust figure than the DX12. I still do love the DX12, but it's sort of to that film, obviously. If you want that version, you do like the Nolan trilogy, then you've got to go with the DX12. Moving across, going back to the Batman Returns, Tim Burton one. Move up. Again, it's a lot further back, but it's a lot bulkier figure. So, all nice in their own right, but if somebody asks me which I preferred, now with the new technology and this new look, which is really is a bit of me, this look, I would probably go for this one. And also, not just to do a size comparison with Superman, but somebody asked me how these would display together in a DTOF shelf. That is the shelf, and that is how they would stand together. Obviously, see there's a slight overlap on the base, like so. I think even if you push them two right to the back, you might even fit Wonder Woman in the front. Let's just move them back just to see. Yeah, you could easily get a Wonder Woman in front of them two bad boys. I think you'd have a sweet looking shelf. Moving on to his extras and accessories. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the bits that came exclusive to this set, but then I'm going to show you the bits that you guys will all receive regardless of which version you pick up. But before I do that, remember that cool scene in the film when he goes into the warehouse going to save Martha? He's kicking fuck out of them blokes, and he jumps up behind that one and he drags him with him and smash him straight through that crate. Fucking gives him a FOSS plant straight into it. Just tried to recapture that using my old mate, fucking Jack of Spades. Fucking dragging him like so. Here we go, pal, going for a little fly. He's grabbed him from behind. Boom, just about smash his FOSS down straight into a wooden crate. I do love all that. Just got back of his jacket, he's taking him with. They're both off the air there. Fucking yes! Yes, I say. Look at that. I think Batman pose alone's awesome, but this poor bastard here is thinking, who's grabbed me? Face plant, straight into fucking crate he's going. Boom, come here I say. Come here my friend. Anyway, what's this exclusive version bring? Well, it brings the tech cowl. Now, the tech cowl sits on a pedestal, is non-removable. It is a nice looking piece, although I wouldn't go mental about it by any stretch. If this version got it, would I be bothered? Not at all. I actually wanted the standard version, but because of a mix-up, I then had to send some more money because this was the only version that were coming out that day, which ended up costing me 60 quid more. And I'll pick that up when I get to value. I'll tell you what I actually paid and what I could have paid and what I fucking wanted to pay for the inclusion of this. Is it nice? Yep. Die-hard Batman fans are going to love it. There's nothing articulated. The wiring is movable, obviously, because it's all coiled up, as you see at the bottom. But for me, it will just go back into the bag or the box and it will never see light of day again. Same with the sniper rifle. It is a nice piece. It does have movable parts. The tripod, the clip is removable. The sights are removable. There's a nice wood effect. Like I said, would I have been sad if I'd not got it? Not really, because I don't think I would ever display a Batman with a sniper rifle anyway. I would have been happy with the extras that the normal version brought. But like I say, it is a nice touch, and I think because of these two items, this set will hold its price pretty well. I'm now going to move on to the standard extras that you get. Rolling on to the rest of his extras and accessories, and I've swapped the pose out. I've got him hiding in the corner, like at the beginning when he's in the corner of the room, hid in the shadows. He's got the branding iron on his fist. It does come with an hand that will hold that. So as we move down, you see I've got him on a dynamic flight stand. He does come with his own diorama style base, obviously with a pop-up Superman and Batman symbol, and this time it is the crutch cradle with the just Batman nameplate on it. The instruction manual, the tech cowl, and the sniper rifle. I didn't mention as well on the sniper rifle, it is bolt action, and that does work, as you see. So that's a nice touch. Then like I said, moving down to the other accessories that you would all get. You get 4 batarangs. Then you have the grapple gun, which is a new design. It does have an hand that will hold it, and it is really nicely done. It will hold 2 of the attachments on side, I think, and then the rest go in the lower chamber. So the interchangeable parts, you have these 2 small pieces which would be unopened hooks. The one that's open does look good, and then you get 2 on the wire like he's fired them out. So that one, like it's just been launched, and it's sort of the line's twanging, and then that one is extended. Let's see with the fitting on the end. It does look really cool. Moving across to another weapon, the kryptonite grenade launcher. The stock extends. It is similar to the, in fact it's same as the one that the armoured version had. It does have 2 grenades, one open, one closed, and they will fit inside the barrel. Moving up, he has the tool for the interchangeable face pieces. There's the 2 spare mouths, 2 spare sets of eyes, hands. He has a set of fists, set of relaxed hands, trigger left and right, then that's when he was relaxed, and then the grapple hook, the batarang holding right, and then the branding iron holding right. So that is everything he brings. He's pretty much got every base covered. Other than giving a full-on Bruce Wayne head, I can't think of anything else they could have given you. So the way I've scored it is a point for his base, a point for the sniper rifle and the tech cowl, which I got with this version, a point for his weapons, a point for the spare hands. No, fucking hell, I forgot. Start again. A point for the base, a point for the interchangeable face plates, which basically gear another portrait, the spare hands, the spare weapons, and like I said, the exclusive items which will help hold the value. So he's got a full-on 5 and a possible 5 for his extras and accessories. Moving on to value, and I thought I'd display him with Superman, or together as they're known, Martha's lads. So let's talk the value. This got released last week, or earlier this week, can't remember, I'm losing track of days, it's all work and film. And I pretty much ordered it. The guy who I buy from in Hong Kong now knew I'd wanted one, and he was like, yeah, I can get you one, I've reserved you one, what version do you want? I just want the normal version, I'm not bothered about the cowl, I'm not bothered about the rifle, I won't use them anyway. So pretty much as soon as it comes out, send it me. So on day release, what happened is they released the tech cowl and sniper version, which is the total deluxe version, I think, the way it seems, and then an exclusive version, which either included just the cowl but not the rifle, or the rifle but not the cowl, whatever. So when I got my price, it were 280 quid for the standard version, or 340 for the cowl and rifle. Fucking hell, that's big bucks. That's most I've paid for a figure for a fucking long time, and I very nearly said I'm not bothered. But not only have I seen the other 2 versions, what they got released at, and also what they sold for, because I did have some to sell myself, I'm thinking, even at that, I'm getting it at best price available. I had a flick to eBay, so they're already going for like 380 quid by then, so I'm thinking, right, I'm not going to doubt the guy who said he can pick me one up, but I'll just have the standard version. So I sent the 280, and I thought, a lot of money, but at least I've got a Batman on way. We had about half an hour come back to me. there's been a mix-up. The standard version don't come out for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. Do you still want that at that price? Or do you want me to pick you this exclusive one up for the $340? Fucking hell, this is really big bucks now. I don't be wanting to pay this. But I thought, I basically went and said, which version can you put me on a plane tonight? He says, the Tech Cowl and the sniper rifle version. And I says, so that's $340. Yep, that's 340 quid to you. PayPal me money, I'll send it. It was actually about 342 quid, but whatever. So I sends the money and I had it in the air that night. So I was buzzing to get it. Do I like paying that sort of money for a figure? Do I fuckers like? Not one bit. On flip side to that, and when I'm trying to score value, I've got to say that this version now from Tim Sen, who's a decent seller, although he's very opportunistic with his prices, and I can say that from a position where I've been the same myself, he has now got this figure selling for about 480 quid. So one way I'm looking like I've got a bargain, other way I'm looking like I've still been bummed because this figure ain't worth that. We're talking PlayStation fucking 4 money, or we're talking half at price of a fucking 55-inch 4K telly, or I don't know, a lot of money. So how do I score it? If I put it this way, if I put it on fucking Facebook or eBay tonight, I'd sell it for more than I paid for it. Would I sell it? No, definitely not. It's the best Batman around at the moment and would be a contender for my favourite figure in here at the moment. I know the novelty will wear off, but everything I wanted it to be, it is, and a lot more. People have asked me which is the best version, this, the Armoured or Nightmare. I would say this. In my mind, I know what I want my collection to be. Sometimes I feel like resetting it and starting all over again, but the honest truth is, the only figures I've been looking forward to over the last probably 5 or 6 months is this and Deadpool. So when I get Deadpool, when that releases, I will do probably a top 10, top 15 figures, and by then the novelty might have wore off on this one, so then we'll see where it places. It is awesome, it has got its nitpicks, but none of them nitpicks are big enough issues for you to not want to buy this figure. If you can wait a while and get it from Sideshow or somewhere local to you, I would say do that. If you can get it from a UK seller, I would say do that. Remember, I'm not only buying to collect, I buy these and I pay inflated prices because I can make some of my money back through AdSense, and also I need it to keep my channel relevant and also keep me at the forefront of these Hot Toys reviews. That's why I do it. I won't lie to you and say I don't. So that is why I've paid this price, and it is a fucking massive price. To score the value, like I said, I've paid massive, but I know I could make that money back. So for that reason, and I will say you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's an awesome figure, and the things included are awesome as well. There's no fucking shit with it. It's all good, sort of thing. The value, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I know some people say you've paid that fucking price for it. How can it be a 3? It should be a 1 or maybe a 2. But that's how I'm going to score it. That's pretty much all I've got to say. If you've got any more questions, just trying to remember other questions I got asked. It has got a zip on its back. I haven't tried to take that off because it's also stitched at the top of the zip. So I'm not cutting the stitch to unzip it, see if I can take it out. It's just not worth it. There's nothing I would want to change on it other than probably glue its sleeves down to stop these creases here and maybe there. But I will say over time, they're not too bad, so I might not even bother with that. Other than that, it is a beast of a figure and I'm buzzing to have it. I hope you've enjoyed that review. I'm guessing it's a fucking long one. Please like it, comment, subscribe, share. But for now, oh, I'll tell you, the figure got 24 of a total of 24. I don't know if I said that before. I've got my daughter stood outside of me watching me. She's just done a fucking runner. She's putting pressure on me because I think they've ordered some food and it's probably here. So, I'll say again, it's got 24 and a possible 30. And that's a review done. For now, it's a Clipper King and I'm out of here.